Hello. Is how's the audio? How's everything look? How's everything sounding? There's going to be a little bit of a delay because I wanted the quality to be higher. So if I don't respond to things in the chat immediately, that's why. Hello Ted. Hello Will. Hello Rated Kitty. What's poppin', Jimbo? Nothing. Honestly, we're gonna just give it a few minutes before we really get started, just to kind of give people a chance to hop in here. Okay, I'm pretty sure everything is up and running in smooth fashion. Good. Okay. I hope. But yeah, we're just gonna give it a little bit. In the meantime, how are you guys doing? How are you enjoying your Wednesday? Uh, uh, yeah. How's everything going? Seeing anything good in theaters lately? Gonna just chat a little bit until a couple minutes, I think. Hello, Tyrese. Thank you, Sam. I really appreciate you saying so. Shalom, Michael. Um, okay, apparently the stream is looking good, sounding good. That's a relief because I've done one stream before. It was kind of unintentional. I was messing around with OBS and I just accidentally. I didn't realize clicking start streaming like immediately. I didn't realize there wasn't like a another check in place on YouTube itself, but um sorry, Andy. I don't know what to tell you, man. I I have no idea. Um okay, yeah, I wanted to see Call Me by Your Name. I'm like woefully behind on movies that came out this year. I saw maybe like 4 or 5 movies in theaters this year. It's been bad, but that's one I didn't get to see. Um Oh, thank you, Jason. Yeah, it's an older one, an oldie, but hopefully a goodie. I definitely think like the quality of my videos has gotten better since then, but I think that one has a nice message that still rings true. Um, but yeah, we're gonna just still give it a few minutes here. Um, let's see. Uh, okay. Sorry, I'm just like super paranoid that things are not working. I've never really properly done this before, so I want to make sure everything's going fine. Um, oh, thanks, Neon. Yeah, the Fight Club one I'm still pretty proud of. I don't know why I did weird things with the voiceover on that one. That's like the one thing that makes it hard for me to go back to. But I still like the way I edited it and everything like that. And Jay, yeah, I know I upload very slowly. They take a long time. They take a really long time. But that's kind of part of what we're going to be talking about. And yeah, so I think I'm just gonna give it like until like 3:10, and then we'll really get the ball rolling as far as like the updates, and then that's basically going to be the plan. Is just kind of talking about some updates, just what's going on with the channel, what's going on with me, what you guys can expect in the future, and then we're gonna kind of wind it down. Can do like a Q&A if you guys have questions for me. I don't know, but if you do, we can get to that a little later. What if? I have not heard of that. But but you're definitely right. The critics are very harsh on romantic comedies, unless it's The Big Sick, which I loved. But yeah, they seem to be very finicky. Um, nice, Tyrese. I used to do a lot of photography. I haven't been into it in a long time, but it's a lot of fun. And if you go to the right places, like I used to like to go to like nature parks to take pictures. I always had fun with that. Okay. Um, I can turn up the mic sensitivity. Uh, my computer's pretty loud, so I have it turned down a little bit to try and combat the background noise. But oh, okay. What if with Adam Driver too, right? That looked good. Yeah, I wanted to see that. Um, yeah. Here, let me. You guys tell me if this is gonna sound better or not. I'm gonna turn up the levels just a little bit. I don't want to like overdo it. Okay. All right. So again, I know there's like a little bit of a delay, but let me know if that's any better. I want people to be able to hear me, obviously. But yeah, Zoe Kazan was in that as well. I liked her a lot in The Big Sick. I thought she was really, really good. I really liked that movie in general. I thought that was a lovely little film. Made me laugh, made me cry. It was good stuff. It was good stuff. Okay. Let me see. Sorry, I know I'm being very, very professional right now. Okay. So yeah, how's the audio? Is that does that mean we're okay? I Favorite films of 2018. I haven't seen it yet. I really want to go see Phantom Thread because I missed that. I missed like everything, and they're bringing some of them back uh, in theaters. So I wanted to see Shape of Water, Dunkirk. I didn't see either of those. Basically, all I saw last year. God, I'm even trying to remember. I saw Baby Driver. I saw Get Out. Um, I saw Mother. I saw Blade Runner, Star Wars. Yeah. What did you think about Silence? I haven't seen that one yet. That's on Amazon though, I think. So I plan on checking that out because I love Martin Scorsese and I love the cast. I mean, Liam Neeson, Adam Driver, Andrew Garfield. Come on, come on. I know the critics didn't go crazy about it, but you know, it's weird. Yeah, and I didn't see Lady Bird either. I really wanted to see that. But yeah, okay, cool, Neon. Thank you for letting me know. I'm glad that the audio's doing better. But yeah, I guess more people might drop in, I guess. But for now, I'm just gonna get going with it. So, basically, the reason that I'm making this stream is to just kind of have a conversation with you guys, and just kind of let you know what's going on with me and what's going on with the channel and everything like that, and just trying to just be in for the sake of transparency, let's put it that way, because I know a lot of YouTubers are like weird about talking about like more business aspects, but that's kind of what part of what I want to talk about. So basically, for those of you who are not aware, I started this channel in like 2014, but that was just when I made the channel. I didn't have a video up on the page until February or March of 2015. And the first video I did is now privated because it's just terrible. But it was a review for The Babadook because originally, once upon a time, my intention was to kind of have like a film-centered show with segments. And so there was going to be like reviews, news, updates, different like kind of just suggestions or like top 5 lists or things of that nature. And then I really got into like Every Frame of Painting and Channel Criswell and Nerdwriter. Those were the big ones that I got into earlier on. And I decided I really wanted to pursue more of the video essay thing and less of like a Looper or Watch Mojo kind of vibe, which was originally the intention. Because I had more fun getting more like analytical about stuff. I thought it was more professional. It was more interesting to me. The downside of making that switch is, you know, the I can't talk apparently. The video essays take a lot longer to produce than just a random like top 5 list would. And so the original intention was to have a video out like every week. But as I've kind of gotten deeper and deeper into it, and apparently take longer and longer to make videos, I've kind of had a lot of different thoughts about how to mediate things a little bit better. And so I'm constantly like trying to refine my creative process to make videos quicker. But things always come up. I always hit roadblocks, creatively and otherwise. But a big thing, and this is where, you know, some people might not like this conversation, but we're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about the business side of things because it's important. You know, I feel like any artist deserves compensation for their work, and I feel like anyone who's putting in a lot of time and a lot of effort, that has to be a part of the conversation because you need money to live in this world. We live in a money-driven society, certainly here in America where I live, and so the thing is, with how long these videos take, I've kind of had a lot of different, what would I say, just tough decisions, I guess. Like I started doing sponsorships a while back. My first one was with Dollar Shave Club, and then I did a sponsorship with Skillshare, and I'm currently negotiating a sponsorship right now. I won't give further details just because it's still in negotiation, and that stuff's, you know, you don't want to talk about that stuff. Not because you don't want your audience to know, but because, I mean, it could screw things up. But I kind of decided a while ago that sponsorships are going to be a necessary thing, at least for the immediate future. Because, so basically just some background for you guys who do not know. My name is Dan. I'm 26. I've been doing Film Radar just entirely by myself from day one, basically. I had my brother on originally, and the intention was kind of to do a back and forth thing. He wasn't interested, so he kind of dropped out, and I took over full responsibility for writing, editing, all of it. Everything that you see on the channel, with exception to like making the movie, obviously, everything is me. Like I obviously pull a lot of different clips or like images from Google or whatever, but everything of editing, graphic design, animation, all of that's me. And it takes a lot of time, and every time I think that I'm going to be like quicker about it, I end up focusing instead on improving the quality with each video, as opposed to like really hammering down a good like regiment about it. Because that's just my personal way of working that I prefer. I always want to be improving. I think that I've gotten pretty good, but I want to get a lot better. I still don't think I'm anywhere near as good as, you know, like Every Frame of Painting or a lot of these other different video essay channels that I really look up to. And so each video kind of takes more and more time, it seems. And if I were to just, excuse me, if I were to rely just solely on ad revenue, there is no way that I can make this work, because I decided to go full time on YouTube. I'm trying to even remember now, about 7 months ago, something like that, which, you know, you can judge, and you would definitely be right in judging me for that. But my reasoning behind that is, as far as like regular jobs go, the best I was ever able to do was like barely above minimum wage. And so I kind of decided that it was more beneficial to focus solely on doing Film Radar, and then, you know, trying to get more money that way, as opposed to spending 40 hours a week at this like minimum wage job. Because for any of you out there who make minimum wage, you know that it's not much, and you will work a lot of hours for very, very little reward. And so I've been trying to kind of figure out how I can make this a sustainable thing, and money has to be a part of that. And I don't let it affect the actual video itself. So I feel like, you know, I'm not being a sellout or anything like that, because I still make the videos that I want to make about the subjects that I want to make. Even like the last one was, you know, like vaguely commercial-esque because it's a really popular film, but it's also one of my favorite films, and it's a video that I had wanted to make for a long time. So as far as I'm concerned, if I take on these other different things to make money, it's not sacrificing my integrity, because it's not actually touching the video. But part of the reason I'm saying this is because the negotiation that I'm in right now for a sponsorship will have the sponsorship at the start of the video. So like within that first 30 seconds, it'll be an ad spot, and then it'll kind of move to the video. And I know a lot of people have a really big problem with that. They feel like you shouldn't be doing that, you know, that it's kind of disingenuous or whatever. But I have a few rules with sponsorships. They cannot have any say in what I make. That's just a given. Like, I'm going to make my videos the way I want to make them, because that's what I do. That's what my audience has come to expect. And if I ever do anything that's like a full sponsorship integration, it would be for something that I would happily do for free. But then, like if Focus Features wanted to pay me to make that Eternal Sunshine video, I would have happily taken money to do that. But I will never just like make a video about something that I'm not interested in just because someone's paying me. And so as far as I'm concerned, putting like a little ad spot at the start isn't really a bad thing. And I know some people may have a problem with that, but being that at this stage, this is my only source of income, I have to take these certain opportunities when they come along. And that's not just for any company. I will always like look into it myself and see if it's something that I feel is deserving. I don't know how to explain it, but like I have turned down sponsorships in the past because it's just not something that I approve of. But yeah, so hopefully that's something that doesn't bother anybody. Hopefully that's something that you guys can understand. Hey, what's up, Zah? Not much actually. I really only just got into it. But yeah, I'll be posting the full live stream on my second channel, which, don't worry, doesn't have any uploads on it. It's been a thing I use for like my Patreon to put unlisted videos because I hate having everything clogged up on my main channel. But I'll put links like on Twitter, I guess I can probably do, but it won't be hard to find after the fact. But basically, just to catch you up, Zah, just kind of talking about sponsorships and like the business side, because I decided to go full-time on YouTube, maybe regretfully and stupidly, but I wasn't getting any other better financial opportunities that were, because the thing is, like, if I could be making a great salary doing like just other freelance editing or writing, then I would happily do that and just let Film Radar be this side project that was only about that. But I'm not at that kind of position. I've had like retail experience and barista experience, and that's about it. And I have had offers for like editing work come my way, but one, the price is just like way too low, and two, they want me to do basically what I do with Film Radar, but on their platform and under their brand and all of that stuff. And I'm not interested in doing that because then I wouldn't have any time to make my own videos. So Patreon is a great way. If you do want to support me, Patreon is fantastic. The thing is, they take their cut. And so as far as I know, the best way to like actually support me like one-to-one is, I believe, PayPal. I believe that their like fees are lesser. And I have a paypal.me set up for like one-time donations if that's the route you want to go. But yeah, that's part of what I've been trying to do, is kind of broaden my revenue streams. Like, I'm sure, especially any of you, and by the way, I will get to any of these questions that are being asked. I will get to them kind of like after the update. So don't worry, I'm not ignoring you. I will get to them. But for any of you guys who have kind of been paying attention to what's been going on YouTube, recently they made a change to their partnership program, which does not affect me. I have the allotted watch hours and I have the subscriber count, so I will not be losing my monetization or anything like that. But even with monetization, we're talking seriously, honestly, like $100 to $150 a month. The best month I ever had was either October or November, I guess, or no, October. Well, whenever I posted the Baby Driver video, because that got about like 250,000 views within the first 30 days. And so that was okay. Like I got like 300 something from that. But as any of you know, living in America, $350 a month is not nearly enough to live on. So that's part of why videos have kind of been slower as well, because I'm like really focusing on turning this into a sustainable career. Like I need to eat, I need to buy clothes and gas for my car. And, so like, luckily right now I'm currently like living with my parents. And so there's a lot less financial burden, which is the only reason that I've been able to even do this much. But so I've been really trying to find ways to like broaden the revenue streams, because anyone, especially who has the YouTube channel themselves, knows that that's been the conversation ever since, you know, these algorithm changes and the partnership program changes. That's one of the big things that a lot of people have been saying as advice is like, you know, broaden your revenue streams. Do not depend on YouTube alone for your income. Have merch, have a Patreon, have all these different things set up. And so I have a Patreon. And for those of you who don't know about Patreon, really, like you can give as little as $1, or I don't think there's a maximum that you can give, and then you can set it for like either every upload or every month. Because I upload slower, I have it set to every video, just because I don't want you guys to pay me money if I haven't made anything. So I have different like tier levels that you can go through, and you can look further into detail, but I try to offer some cool perks, but mostly and I think for a lot of people it's more of like a landing page for people who want to consistently support, because once you set up your like credit card information or your PayPal information, it just automatically takes care of it. You know, whenever I upload a video, it charges, I think it's like the 15th of the month or something like that, but they always charge the same time regardless of when I upload. So that way you can kind of get in your head a consistent pattern of like, okay, this time of month, every month, this amount of money will come out. And I recently just put up my first t-shirt design, which I actually have. It's in the wash right now. Otherwise I would show it to you, but I do have a t-shirt now, and that's another way you can support me. But, you know, again, obviously anything like that, the other place is going to get a cut too. So if you're really just looking to support me, PayPal all the way, because they only have like a very, very tiny cut. The thing is, Patreon's nice because then you get those rewards, and, you know, and then Teespring, you get a shirt out of it. So it's a way of supporting me and like getting something out of it more than just, you know, like feeling good for helping somebody out. But essentially that's kind of where I'm at, and I just wanted to make this video this live stream for anybody who may not kind of understand where I'm at financially in terms of everything. But I wanted to really make sure that it was understood that I'm never sacrificing on the videos ever. That is like #1 priority, and that's part of why these videos take so long, because I never just, you know, set up a format that I could just churn them out. I'm always challenging myself to grow and to do things differently, especially visually. That's like the big thing that you guys have, if any of you have seen more than one video of mine, you can tell that that is, you know, something I put a lot of focus on, is making sure that each video kind of has its own style and feel and everything like that. And so just, you know, understand that there are going to be sponsorships in the future, but I will never take them if they're trying to alter the content in any way. And I will never take them if it's not something that I actually like would use myself, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know. I'm not going to advertise for like L'Oreal shampoo or something like that, unless they pay me a lot of money, and then I'll kind of come to the side like, hey guys, you know, this is, but you know, I'm sure everybody can understand, especially given the wave of like recent changes. A lot of people, especially like with the new year too, a lot of people have these like year-end resolutions in mind. And for me, it's, yeah, I want to be able to be actual proper full-time on YouTube by the end of this year. Hopefully sooner than that, because I'm probably going to be moving to Chicago in June, July, sometime around there. And Chicago's an expensive place. The reason I'm going out there is, one, my brother lives out there. And two, because it's a great place for what I plan on doing for the next steps. Because essentially the plan for me is to continue to make video essays for, you know, the foreseeable future, for a long time, hopefully. But I also want to get making short films and music videos and work on directing and like writing and directing my own things. That passion is what got me to start making video essays, but the video essay is not the end goal. The hope is that, you know, I'll be making feature films someday and I'll still be coming back to make video essays, because I think that would be really cool. You know, imagine if like Martin Scorsese made a video essay. I think that would be awesome. And so I kind of want to push in that direction. But so I just wanted to, you know, to have that conversation, to really like just have that transparent dialogue, that I'm not just like in it for the money, but, you need money. You know, it's a fact of this world. If I was 16, it'd be a different conversation. If I had a really comfy day job, it'd be a different conversation. Unfortunately, that's not where I'm at. So, you know, I hope that you guys are okay with that. I hope that doesn't, you know, make you like feel less about my channel or anything like that, because I'm still gonna make sure that that's the most important thing. But with all that said, if you guys have any questions for me regarding this topic, we'll get to more like casual hangout Q&A stuff in a bit. But if you guys have any questions for me about this like financial side or this business side of it, I would love to hear them, and I would love to answer them. And then, yeah, I'll get back and I'll answer all of your guys' questions that you already posted. But yeah, I'm just going to give it a second because I know there's like a 20 or 30 second delay or something like that. Checking Twitter. Oh, Adam. Oh, man. I wish. The goal is like every 2 weeks, but while I'm still like heavily managing this business side, it just ends up pushing that. But so hopefully the goal is to eventually kind of get back to like once a month. But the reason this one's taking a long time is because this is going to be the longest video I've made yet. It's probably going to be like 16, 17 minutes. I am getting close. Like I'd say another week or two, and it should be good. To answer that question. But eventually I would love nothing more than to get to every 2 weeks. Every week, there's just no way. The videos, on average, take like 150 to 200 hours per video. So I don't know how a human being could fit that into 1 week ever. So we'll see. Yeah, man. Of course. I appreciate you guys listening to me. I appreciate you guys stopping in and, you know, and hearing me out, because I know the conversation's gotten a lot better about this kind of stuff in recent years, because I've been watching YouTube for a long time, and I remember like the first time people started doing like sponsorships, people were freaking out, you know, like, you sell out, you dirty little a-hole. What are you doing? You know, like, what are you, a billboard? What happened to your channel, man? And luckily people kind of are starting to understand that it's not like that, you know, like, it's a business. It just is. And, you know, I'm trying to balance the art and the commerce as best as I can, but that's part of what makes things take longer. Just other random things that come in the way make things take longer as well. You know, just lots of different stuff. Kind of, it's hard to even like kind of get into that, to be honest, but I'm doing my best. I work on this stuff every day, but a lot of the time I end up throwing out an entire day's work, or there have been times I've worked for weeks on a video just to scrap it. There are lots of different issues, but eventually the hope is to get down to like 2 weeks to 4 weeks for a new video. And I think that's attainable. But obviously getting more money would like really, really, really help, would really help that process. 'Cause I spend a lot of time like watching these kinds of consultation things and like, you know, how you can increase revenue and all this kind of stuff, because I'm stressed about it. Like when I put up the Eternal Sunshine video, I made like $100 that month, and that's scary. That's really scary, especially when coming from the month with the Baby Driver video, where it actually, you know, was a pretty solid month for me. It's really scary, like how fast it can flip flop. So the less time I have to devote to like all of that stuff, the better things will be too. But so, you know, you can check out my website. That's kind of like the best just place to check for anything, because that's where, you know, you can email me through my website. There's links to like my PayPal, my Patreon, my store. Technically it's my store, I guess, but my Teespring product line or whatever, which right now is just one design. And I kind of want to gauge how the reception to that is before I try to launch anymore. But the plan is at least to launch like a coffee mug, mostly because I drink a lot of coffee and I would love to have that logo on a mug. But, you know, obviously if I'm going to put that out there, then, you know, if I'm going to buy it, might as well have it out there for other people to buy as well. So, Um, but so yeah, unless anybody has any questions, I feel like I've like fitfully covered the subject here. Um, sorry. So okay, to get back to, I mean, I'll happily answer any questions if you guys have them, but I'm gonna like switch over to like Q&A hangout mode. But so Ted wants to know what I think about the recent Oscar nominations, and outside of like a few issues, like the biggest thing I'll complain about is I hate that Blade Runner was not nominated for like everything, because it deserved to be nominated for everything. I think that was the best movie of the year. I thought it was incredible. It's like the best sequel ever made, and just Denis can do no wrong in my eyes. I get the complaints. I understand where people are coming from who hate on the movie, but I thought that deserved like 20 Oscar nominations. But other than that, like I was pretty pleased. Like I was really happy to see Get Out getting a lot of love. I was really happy to see The Big Sick get a nomination. I thought that movie was fantastic. As far as like other different movies, it's hard to say because I haven't seen them. I haven't seen Lady Bird. I haven't seen Three Billboards. There's a lot of the stuff that I missed. But overall, based on what I've seen and based on what I've heard, yeah, I don't know. It seems to probably be like the best year in a good long while. Thoughts on Mumblecore? I've never seen a Mumblecore film. I don't believe, anyways. If you could give me some examples, that might help. Neon Cinema, any advice on how to start a video essay channel in terms of coming up with ideas and working on vocal delivery? So as far as vocal delivery, seriously, just practice a lot. Like if you go back to listening to my older videos, it's like, so this is the, like you got to just practice until the confidence kind of comes out. I mean, and just write in a way that fits your natural kind of speech patterns as best as you can, because I think a lot of people try to write in a way that's like more thoughtful or poetic or whatever, but then it just doesn't feel natural when they're speaking. So I feel like that's a really important thing. But so just try to write to your own voice as best as you can, and then just learn to like inflect and pause where you should. Some people hate that, but it's like that's literally every person public speaking anywhere, not just video essays, but like pausing for emphasis is a thing that people do. As far as coming up with ideas, I'm not gonna lie to you, that's the hardest part. I take about a week between videos, like 3 days to a week. It depends. Sometimes I get something going really quick, but that's the part I struggle with the most, is just that first step before making a video. But so my strategy has been, and you know, you can feel free to do your own version of this, but usually I kind of look through Netflix or HBO or my like DVD collection, and I feel it out, like, because every video takes a lot of work, so I want to make sure it's a world that I want to live in for a little while, a movie that I can watch like 8 times or as much as necessary to get the video done. So I just kind of pick whatever I'm really interested in, whatever's like calling to me in that moment, and then I watch it. I watch all the behind the scenes that I can find, all the interviews I can find, everything that I can find on, you know, from the director, from the writer, from the editors, whoever. And then usually there's like you know, just like a firework moment of like, oh, that's it. That's the thing. So for example, with the Baby Driver video, I knew I loved Baby Driver. I thought it was a ton of fun. One of the just most entertaining movies I've seen in years. Edgar Wright's one of my favorite filmmakers of all time. I think he's terrific. And it was really cool to see him like branch out. But so I knew I wanted to talk about Baby Driver. I didn't know what topic I wanted. So I was watching interviews, and I came across this interview. I think it was with The Hollywood Reporter, and he was kind of talking about the costume design, and he started talking, and I used this clip in the video itself where, you know, he got that letter from a fan that was like, you know, I like to color code my characters, and it just like, duh. How did I not catch that? He's done that. And then I kind of like went, you know, and looked at all those older movies, and I'm like, yeah, wow. How did I not notice that? And then I realized, well, if I didn't notice it, I guarantee a lot of other people wouldn't have noticed it. And that's a really interesting idea. So let's look at the fact that he color codes his characters, but then let's look at what that means, right? Like, because if you can pick any color for any character, you probably want there to be some significance for the color that you're choosing. And there's a lot of psychology that goes along with color, and there's a lot of different ways you can kind of play with it to communicate a different idea. So that's what I would recommend. That's what I do. Or, a lot of guys that I know, they read just a lot of different books on philosophy or screenwriting or you name it. And then you kind of, when you start to pull these threads out of these stories or, these books, then you kind of start to see the connection between, oh, I noticed that tactic in this movie. And then you can kind of make a concept around that. But the biggest tip is make sure that it's something you're really interested in. And, excuse me, gassy, and make sure that it's something that you can actually fill a video with, because I think a lot of people, they'll take like an idea that you could cover in 2 minutes, and then they try to make a 10-minute video, and then people comment like, hey, why is this video filled with nothing? And it's like, make sure that you actually have something of substance. But that's my recommendation. Thoughts on Inside Llewyn Davis? I haven't seen it. These days, and for the last couple of years, I've been so bad about watching movies because, I focus so intensely on like one movie at a time a lot of the time that, I don't know, I need to see it though. It looks really good. I love the Coen brothers, and I will definitely watch it at some point, and I'm sure I'll love it. Thoughts on the objectivity of film. I think that my philosophy on it is like every creator kind of has their own desired interpretation, but then it's not up to them anymore. Once you put your art out into the world, I think that it's up to everybody else to decide how they feel about it. And as long as you have like evidence to support your claim, I think any interpretation is valid. So I think that all film is subjective, relatively speaking. I mean, if you try to make the argument that in Fight Club, the narrator and Tyler aren't the same dude, well, then no, because you're just directly contradicting what the film is explicitly telling you. But whenever there's room for interpretation, and that's a lot of the time in most movies, yeah, I say go with it. And, I think that's part of the fun of watching movies, is just being able to take your own story out of it. How about the slow burn storytelling of Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford? By the way, greetings from Germany. Hey, that's awesome. Greetings from America. I mean, it's not as exciting, but greetings nevertheless. I love slow burn storytelling. It's like one of my favorite things. It's part of why I loved Blade Runner. I love a story that just like takes its time, because in this society of like really bad attention spans, and I even have one, like I will scroll through Reddit way too long. I love the idea of something that's just like, no, like we're gonna just take a deep breath, we're gonna go through this story nice and slow, we're gonna hit these story beats, we're not in any hurry. I love it. And when it's done well, and that film's actually, like, I think one of the absolute best films of all time. How Roger Deakins didn't win, I will never know. I will never know. If he doesn't win this year, I'm gonna boycott the Oscars, because that man is a genius. Still thinking about your Eternal Sunshine video. So good. Thank you. Please do the coffee mug. Okay. Yeah, sweet. Like, all right, that's one person that wants it. I'll do it then, because I want one too. So, yeah, no, it's a problem, and I think I even struggled with stretching my content out too, because ever since they made the algorithm switch, and everyone's seen this like all over the place, it's really bad. It's everyone's just got to make that 10-minute mark. Whereas for me, if anything, I'm like trimming down to get to 10 minutes, because I don't want to make like a 20-minute video. But the next video it's gonna be long. There's no way around it. There's no way of trimming it down without like actually, and I'm smiling because it's kind of like meta almost, or like ironic, because of what the topic is. So like earmuffs if you guys like it to be a surprise, but little verbal sneak peek of what the new video is. It's about Kingdom of Heaven, which I know I've already done a video, and so hopefully that's okay. But it was like It's the second video on my channel. It's the third video I ever made for this channel. And it's about how the director's cut of Kingdom of Heaven is like really, really good, and the theatrical cut of Kingdom of Heaven is really and it's like 6 minutes of me just kind of complaining about like runtime and then like yelling at Fox. So it didn't do it justice, but I like recently rewatched Kingdom of Heaven again, and it's like, I got to revisit this. I got to do this again, and I got to do it right. And so it's going to be a pretty thorough breakdown of some of the major differences between the theatrical and director's cut of Kingdom of Heaven, which is in my top 5 favorite films of all time. I think Kingdom of Heaven is a masterpiece. I think it's incredible, and it genuinely breaks my heart that no one has like seen it the proper way. And you know, since no one else has like covered it, and I did such a terrible job covering it, and like you can even look, the like to dislike ratio on that one is worse than any of my other videos. The comments, like there are like 50 comments on there that are like, dude, so why is it actually different? Why, you know, you don't ever talk about it? And so I want to do it right, you know, because I want more people to see this movie. It's, I think, the craziest thing, because normally a director's cut is like an extra few minutes, but this is 45 minutes of extra footage and like crucial, important stuff that they just cut out because they wanted it to be shorter. It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy. So if you guys want to like do your homework, you know, for the new video, you can seek out Kingdom of Heaven, and I'd recommend watching the director's cut. The theatrical cut's not terrible, especially if okay, I think I'm back. I'm waiting for it to show on YouTube. Okay, I think we're back. I don't know what's happening. Jesus. Okay, I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm back. Okay, I'm pretty sure everything is copacetic. Oh, greetings from Italy. That's awesome. Again, greetings from America. Yeah. We used to be okay. Before we, you know, let's not get into politics. Let's not get into politics. That's a terrible idea. All right. There are always things within a film that the creators use to force sensible interpretations down particular paths. Once that's done, the result is a unique interpretation with guided focus. Yes, that's essentially how I feel. You know, like they all have their idea. Obviously, you have to. Otherwise, how do you even put a movie together if you don't have some direction? But then, yeah, like you have, I guess, what you would call like the law of the film, where there's stuff that you can't disagree with, like, you know, I don't know, that, like, if you wanted to say that Django and Django Unchained wasn't a slave, it's like, well, no, you're just wrong about that. That's not an interpretation. That's just you, like, blatantly missing information that the movie's giving you. But other than that, I mean, you can, like, if you want to say that his outfit's inspired by, like, the Blue Boy, then yeah, go for it. And that's probably true. That's probably what he intended. But even if it's not, even if if his costume designer showed it to him and he was like, that's amazing, I don't care what the inspiration is, that just looks great on screen, let's do it, doesn't matter, you know? Like, because I've even had people on like the Baby Driver video saying like, are you sure that Edgar Wright really intended this? And it's like, not necessarily all of it, but who cares? It's the fun of watching movies, you know? And he retweeted it, so, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Either way, just have fun with it, right? Watch, you know, watch movies how you want to watch them. Hello, and God, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Roberto wants to know what's my opinion on polarizing movies. Why do you think some directors like Yorgos Lanthimos or Lars von Trier do movies that people either hate or love? I really like it. I think it's really brave. I think it's really risky, especially in this current stage that we're in of like film, where almost everything is just played the safest way possible. I love, even when I don't love the movie, I love when directors do that. For example, Mother was, I loved it. I'll say that first. I loved it. But like, even if I didn't, I would absolutely love his decision to make that movie because it's so different. and it's very, very polarizing. A lot of people were absolutely disgusted when they walked out of that theater. They felt like violated, and my opinion on that is like, you're supposed to. That's the whole point. It's supposed to be, disgusting. It's supposed to be hard to watch. Like Schindler's List, no one's going there with some popcorn like expecting a fun movie. Like, you go in there and you're devastated and you're left hollow inside when the movie's over, because it's what it's supposed to do. But I think polarizing films are great. I would actually love to make some someday. 333M Ron, thank you. I appreciate it. It's very, very kind of you to say. Is there any movie that wasn't nominated for an Oscar that you think should have? Again, it's tough to say because I didn't like see a lot of this stuff, but I would say Mother, of what I have seen, because like Baby Driver got nominated, Get Out got nominated, Blade Runner, Star Wars, like pretty much everything I saw that was like good got a nomination, except for Mother. But I'm not surprised in the slightest that it didn't get any nomination. Although I do think it deserved something. Like I think Jennifer Lawrence would have been more deserving for a nomination than like Meryl Streep. I feel like she gets an Oscar nomination no matter what she does at this point. Excuse me, that was disgusting. Oh god, it's like tiny on my screen. Fladvad? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I hope so. Appreciate your work and that you let us know about your situation and is what weighing on your decisions. Best of luck. Thank you. Yeah, I always want to have that conversation. I feel like a lot of people don't. And, I don't know why. I really don't understand it. And God, do you have a list of movies that are absolutely stunning in a single part of film production, like Color Theory and Baby Driver or Information Control and Ex Machina? Not like an actual like tangible list, but yeah, like there are definitely a lot of things that come to mind, like pretty obvious ones though, I guess, but like special effects are something that are really fascinating to me. That's actually something I plan on covering pretty soon. Probably not with like the immediate next video, but probably pretty soon. I was thinking about either doing like 2001 or Lord of the Rings, because I think that they have the most unbelievably good practical effects just like ever done, and I think they still look gorgeous. Like you can go back, 2001: A Space Odyssey came out in 1967, 1968, and it still looks unbelievable. It's insane. And so I'm a total geek for like practical special effects, and there are lots of movies that have that. And then I mean, as far as like sound design and stuff, that's another big one. Like I covered Fight Club, but yeah, I don't have like a huge list put together. Oh gosh, now I'm falling behind here. Oh, thank you, Tyrese. I'm glad that you thought so. That was the hope. That's what I always hope when I kind of cover these, like, especially like the smaller parts of film that most people don't talk about. Like, give some love and hopefully inspire people. So I really appreciate you saying that. Invincible. Sorry, man, I can't read. Invincible. I'm just gonna call you Invincible. I'm gonna have to go to IMDb right now because I've never heard that name, or the name doesn't sound familiar. So let me. How does that spell? Bellatar. Yeah, I haven't seen any of them. I'm sorry. To be honest, I love foreign films. They're hard to find, and it's a whole can of worms to open, right? Because it's like I'm even behind on like American cinema, but then all of a sudden it's like you've got German films, French films, Italian films, Hungarian films, and some of them are incredible. But then it's like, how do you find them? How do you watch them? But I'll make a mental note. Oh, hey Jimmy, what's up, man? Good to see you in here. Authorial intent isn't that important. There's a lot of evidence that Plato wrote The Trial of Socrates to push a somewhat fascist ideology, but what matters is that the vast majority of interpretation, is that it's about confronting the involuntarily in a way that does more. Like that's. I think authorial intent like really does not play too much of a part. I completely agree with that. Thoughts on John Carpenter films? of what I've seen, I love. Like, I haven't seen like the escape films, but I love Halloween. I'm a big horror buff. That's another thing that I really want to do soon is like cover some horror movie. I haven't done one yet, and I love, like, if I had to pick a favorite genre, it would be horror. And I think Halloween is one of the like epitome, just classic. I don't know if I'm verbalizing this well at all, probably not, but, and I actually think The Thing is even better. The Thing's probably like top 20 for me of all time. I think The Thing is fantastic. Mother, it's a Matryoshka, I think that's how that's pronounced, of messages and symbolisms, very beautiful, my favorite. Nice. Okay, good. I'm glad someone in here is a fan, because I know a lot of people hated it. I loved it. It's probably my second favorite film I saw this year. Yeah, let's go second. Third, one of the two. Top 5, because I only saw like 5 movies, but it was really good. I really liked it. I like Darren Aronofsky in general, though. Video Insights will, films like Prince of Tides and Casualties of War are tough to watch, but I applaud the fact that I only saw those films once and only wanted to see it once. See, and sometimes there's like something really important about seeing something like that. I've seen a few of those kinds of movies that you just do not want to watch again, but they stay with you. And I think that's an interesting thing, you know, one way or the other. Any non-American movie you've seen this year that you would recommend? I did see one film, and a lot of people are talking about it. The reason I watched it is because I had a free night. It's on Netflix, which, if there's like some good stuff on Netflix, throw it my way. I want to make a list, because Netflix is super easy. You know what I mean? I don't have to buy a DVD or stream it on some random like website. Netflix is easy. But I saw Raw, which I thought was fantastic. I'm like still iffy on the ending, but Raw is a French horror film, and I will not say more than that, because the less you know, the better. Honestly, if you go into it blind like I did, it's a very interesting watch. But I'll say it's graphic, it's R-rated, it's got nudity, it's got gore. It's like, you know, if I'm not going to try and recommend something like that to a 12-year-old. I don't know the age of you guys, but like just be warned, all right? I'm not recommending anything offensive. Please don't get me banned. It's a really good movie, though. I think I saw Edgar Wright tweet it out or something, and I was like, yeah, let's check it out. It was really good. Bran wants to know what are some of my favorite horror movies and why. So, first thing I'll just say is like psychological horror is always my favorite, and that can mix in with like body horror or supernatural horror, but like anything that's like trying to actually terrify you. I don't do the jump scares, I don't do the gore. I can watch those movies, I can have fun with those movies, but my favorite horror movies are the ones that like really mess with my head. And so like The Exorcist, Suspiria, The Descent, The Thing. I really liked The Babadook and The Witch and It Follows. Those are all like recent ones. The Shining, obviously, classic. But like anything that like really kind of gets under your skin and really, really, really messes with your head. Ooh, I love it. Because I love the Saw movies. There's none of that going on. It's just gore and jump scares. Excuse me. But I love them. They're fun. I really enjoy them. But they don't scare me. I'm done watching the movie and it's like, you know, I don't even think about it. When I was done watching The Babadook, I was walking around my house, like, you know, in the dark, just like checking every corner, like, you know, and that's what I want. You know, I want to walk out of that theater or Netflix screening, you know, terrified. That's what I look for. So one I'm really looking forward to, I really want to see Hereditary. That looks fantastic. The new trailer for that, woo, that looks really good. No worries, Jimmy. You should see me on Twitter, dude. Like I can't be concise. It's not possible. What's the second channel? God, I can't even remember. Basically what it is like when I post like behind the scenes stuff for my Patreon page, I post it there just so it doesn't like clog up my stuff, but it's like here's what I'll do just to make it real simple. I'm gonna get the link and I'll just drop it in in the description. Son of a gun. How are we going to do this? Because I can't sign out to just like sign into that account really quick. Otherwise, I'm sure that would here, be a smart boy. We're figuring this out. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Yeah, because I'm like really anal about like how that stuff is on my channel. Like I want there to be like nothing but you know. So actually, here, I'll just do this because this is like a sneak peek of the kind of thing that you would see on the behind the scenes. Like I'll post like deleted designs that never ended up getting used. So where's my pop out chat? There we go. Okay. So that's a link to a video that's normally an exclusive for the $3 level. I change it a lot. I shouldn't, but I do because I feel like I charge too much for some of these things. But that's a link to one of the Baby Driver designs that didn't make the cut. And then yeah, that's where the channel is. So yeah, I'll post this on there, and probably any live stream after this will make its way onto there. And that is the plan. Like I plan on making another just like fun hangout live stream whenever I hit 50,000 subscribers, because that's a huge milestone, and I'm getting pretty close. I've got 42,000, so that's freaking insane. Okay, let's see. Scotia, I liked about 3 songs. Ooh, that just scrolled up. I gotta pop out my chat or I won't be able to read that. I liked about 3 songs by the White Stripes when I was younger. Years later, when I'm in Italy, I see your video and I've fallen in love with Jack and White. Yeah, oh man, that's awesome. That's like a really underrated video of mine. I think that's like probably my 3rd favorite video that I've ever made. Because I love the White Stripes. I absolutely adore them, and I'm glad you're getting into them. I think they're fantastic. Get Behind Me, Satan's probably my favorite album of theirs. They're just, every album is like exploring different kinds of concept, or like different sounds, but with like similar themes. I love them. I love them to death. I think they're one of the greatest bands of all time. So I'm glad you're getting into them. Favorite movie in the Criterion Collection? Man, anything by Wes Anderson. Like, let's be real, his Criterion stuff is fantastic, and I love Wes Anderson. He's great. Tyrese wants to know what my thoughts on Christopher Nolan's style of directing. It depends. Like sometimes he really, really blows me away, and sometimes I'm like, eh. I think he's a great visionary. They say that a lot, you know, about him. But I guess for me, my preferred thing with directing is like camera movement and framing, and how they kind of work together with like the cinematographer and all of that stuff to get that color palette, to get that look. And I don't always think that his movies look as good as they could. But I'm not a Nolan hater. I am absolutely not a Nolan hater. I think he's great. Like I love Memento, Prestige, the Dark Knight trilogy, even Batman Begins, even Dark Knight Rises. I love him. Interstellar I thought was great, but I mean, he's very big, and I kind of want to see him go back to like Memento scale again. I would love that, but I don't think he's ever going to do that, let's be honest. But I still haven't seen Dunkirk, and from what I've seen and trailers and like different clips, it looks like probably his best directed movie yet, so I'm really, really excited to see that. I've been using all 3, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime lately. Been using Prime, watching. Honestly, Will, yeah, I just started using Prime. My parents have it, and so I kind of like snuck their email address. You know what I'm saying? They let me. I'm not like stealing from my parents. Chill. But Amazon, I don't know if they're like, I don't know how they feel about that. But that's where I watched The Big Sick, and so there's a lot of stuff I'm gonna have to sift through on there and check out if there's anything like really, really good. But Match Show 75 haven't seen. But thoughts on game shows? I love game shows. Especially Japanese game shows. Like Silent Library is probably my favorite game show of all time. I think it's hilarious every single time. I love game shows, though. I feel like they've kind of suffered in America past the 70s. Like the 60s and 70s, I think, was when American game show television was in its prime. And God, I hope I'm like pronouncing that. Correct. On a pretty personal note, I'd like to thank you. Between you, Jack's movie reviews, lessons from the screenplay, and the closer look, I've been able to find a way to pursue my passion about learning about the craft and art of filmmaking. My parents won't let me take a formal course on it because the craft is one full of risks, but thank you, man. Thank you. That means a lot. Like that's one of the biggest reasons that I wanted to start doing this, was to like hopefully inspire people. I know that sounds like cliche, right? But it's true. Like because I had those kinds of people that were like figureheads in my life, and I always, wanted to just like spread the love of film. So that means a lot that you're into it. And hey, man, as far as parents, like they might come around. Like if you're really serious about it, they might change their mind, because my parents were very much like, you need to become an accountant. You're so smart. You're so good with numbers. There's no money in being a creative person. And I mean, I've kind of been proving that right so far. But I'm passionate about it, and I'd rather do what I'm passionate about than be rich. Ideally, I could be both, right? I could have the best of both worlds, but I don't know. It took them a long time to come around, is what I'll say. They really wanted me to do something else, and even now there's a supportive, because they have seen that it's like, my YouTube channel is doing well. Like I'm not 50 subs and like 2 views a day or something, like, so they've been supportive. But I think that's just normal. Parents worry. They want you to have a sure thing, and an artistic career is just not a sure thing at all. Jimmy, any book recommendations? As far as for like useful in my analysis, no. To be honest, I don't read as much as I used to. I used to read a ton, but basically, most of my day these days is spent working on the videos, eating, sleeping, and then just general depression and all that fun stuff that'll hit you. But I could recommend some fiction that's just good stuff, like anything by Chuck Palahniuk. He's my favorite author. And then Perfume, The Story of a Murderer is my favorite book. It's kind of messed up. It's like the main character is a serial killer, but I really like it. They made a movie based on it, directed by Tom Tykwer. One of those. He was a co-director on Cloud Atlas. He also made Run Lola Run. It was pretty good. The movie was pretty good, but it's hard because the book deals a lot with scent, which is just a thing that's really hard to convey visually, but it's easier to convey with words. So that's a book I would recommend. But as far as like what can be helpful for analysis, I would check out like anything that like storytellers like Stories of Old or Lessons from the Screenplay. They recommend books all the time, and I'm sure like if they're able to make those amazing videos because of that, like I have to imagine that they're great. But most of my research comes from like the mouth of the filmmaker or whatever. That's the way I prefer to do it. Like I feel like a lot of these guys go to the middleman of like the John Truby's and of the world, and it's like I'd rather like listen to the people who are actually making it. I don't know if that makes sense, but like I'm not judging those people. But I prefer to get my like filmmaking advice from Paul Thomas Anderson, or as opposed to a guy teaching filmmaking at a college. I don't know. That's my personal thing. Official party channel, White Stripes for Great Lives. Oh God, I'm so jealous. I never got a chance, and then they broke up, and it was just like, well, I guess that's that. I don't even know what Meg's doing anymore, because he's still doing stuff. I don't like his new stuff as much, and I know that just makes me sound like a hipster, but it is what it is. I prefer his sound with the White Stripes. What's your thought on sexploitation movies? Most of the Brazilian movies produced during the dictatorship were sexploitation because they were the only ones without political. That's actually really funny. I haven't seen too many. I've seen a couple just like randomly, names like I wouldn't remember, to be honest, but I'm fine with exploitation films in general. Because they're not pretending to be something else. Do you know what I mean? And as long as a movie just kind of wears its heart on its sleeve, whatever that is, I'm okay with it. I feel like, You don't have to see it if it's not your kind of movie. So if someone wants to make something with a bunch of boobies, let them have fun. You know, they're not my kind of movies, but you know, because for me, my kind of exploitation movies are like the horror kind. You know, where it's like the guy with the hammer bashing people's skulls in. I love it. I love it. I love good B movies. If you couldn't tell from my Death Proof video, which was like my own love letter to the Grindhouse era. Did you see Incendies? No, I am a terrible Denis fan because I've only seen his like huge American successes, but I really want to see it because I've heard that it's like arguably his best film, so I want to see it really bad. He's like my favorite filmmaker right now because I've seen his last several. I didn't see Enemy, but I saw Prisoners, Sicario, Arrival, and Blade Runner, and all of them are amazing. It's like, I don't know who this guy is, or you know where he came from. You know, he just like boop popped on the scene. It feels like just a few years ago, and he's incredible. He's just so talented. So I will watch it. That is a for sure watch for me. My most anticipated film of 2018. What's coming out soon? I really don't know. That's tough. Ooh, is Tarantino's new movie coming out in 2018? Because if it is, then that. What? Yeah, I don't even know. I don't think it has a title yet, but that. I love Tarantino. I will see anything he puts out. Roberto, I love the White Stripes video. Oh, thanks. We'll see. I'm kind of nervous, honestly, because part of that and the Naughty Dog video were me like branching out, and they both like got like no views, and so it makes me nervous because, you know, like you put all that time and effort in, you want people to watch it, and I don't know. It's weird how, because it's still like thousands of people, which is a lot of people, but there's something that's like once you start hitting certain thresholds and then you're not meeting that threshold, you kind of question things a little bit. But I don't know. I definitely am not ruling it out, the thought of covering music or video games for that matter. But I think for a little while I'm going to stay focused on movies because, I mean, to be honest, that's what I know best anyways. So stay with my wheelhouse, right? But thank you. I do appreciate you saying so. And I will say, if I do ever make another video on another band, it's probably going to be Radiohead because that's my favorite band. So I might do that someday. We'll see. LBD Productions, have you seen They Call Me Jeeg? It's like Unbreakable, but inserted into the No, I haven't, but I liked Unbreakable a lot, so that sounds interesting. I'll have to look that up. There's money in cryptocurrency. I don't trust that. I don't trust it, man. I mean, well, what was that one that BitConnect, that H3 did the video on? Oh my god. Like, it's scary stuff, and I don't have the kind of capital that I can just comfortably invest in that stuff anyways. So yeah, I mean, if I was like a millionaire, I would happily just throw little bits in every single one. I'd even invest in Garlic Coin, which is the garlic bread cryptocurrency that Reddit started. But I'm not a risk-taking kind of guy when it comes to that stuff. I'm not a gambler, and that's basically what you're doing. It's like the stock exchange. It's just up and down and up and down, and you never know where it's going to go. And that scares the hell out of me. I feel like, Pablo, was there a movie that really got you into films? Yes, actually. And it's interesting that I remember this. But when I was like 4 or 5, the first movie that like really opened up the magic of cinema to me was The Wizard of Oz. Because it's a beautiful little movie. It's great. I still love it, and I think it kind of was that movie for a lot of people. But that would be my like entry into like, ooh, movies. Whoa, these are really cool. It's not just like, you know, a fun thing to have on in the background while you're playing with your toys. Like, this is actually something worth paying attention to. Oh, Tequer. Okay, thank you. I actually appreciate that. I'm terrible. I don't know how to pronounce things, man. I really don't. I'm bad about it. Ooh, Captain Fantastic's on there too. Okay, that was one I really wanted to check out because I love Viggo Mortensen. I mean, he's always like Aragorn to me, but I love him. Man in the High Castle also looked pretty friggin' sweet. I wanted to read the book because it's from Philip K. Dick, who also wrote a lot of really good stuff, including but not limited to the book that became Blade Runner. Speaking of horror movies, yeah, Babadook's great. I absolutely loved it. I think it's still on Netflix. I might check that out again soon. I've only seen it once, but I loved it. I thought it was a ton of fun. Hearing about you preferring to learn about filmmaking from the industry leaders, have you ever considered something like Masterclass? I have. I've like gotten so close. There was the one Aaron Sorkin did not too long ago, and I was like this close to signing up for it. But yeah, it's a whole thing, and like it's money, and I'm a frugal guy. I have to be. But eventually, oh god, yeah, like that would be a dream to just like go through every single one of those. I would love that, because I think who better to ask advice from than people who have succeeded doing it. I don't know. Yeah, Wooderson, the Hereditary trailer looks great. That's one of my more anticipated movies right now. And I might do it. I might. I kind of feel like I screwed myself by naming the channel Film Radar, to be honest. And sometimes, like, it's way too late to rebrand now. Way too late. But we'll see. I mean, I like the idea of branching out more. I really do. But I get scared. I get nervous. I get nervous that no one's going to watch it. Because my 2 least popular videos, you can even go to my YouTube channel and sort, like, most popular. The ones at the very bottom are the only 2 that I did not do TV or movies on. It's the Naughty Dog video, which is video games, and then the White Stripes one, which is music videos and music. Oh, I wanted to see that. Now I'm forgetting the director's name. I should know that, but was that Yorgos again, or am I getting mixed up? Yorgos Lanthimos. Either way, that looked really good. Mr. Pineapple Man, do you have a favorite Scorsese film? I think I'd have to go with Taxi Driver. That's so tough. It's like neck and neck between Raging Bull and The Aviator. I think both of those films are just easily some of the best that have ever been made. On a personal level, I'm probably going to go with The Aviator, because it's about a filmmaker, and it's, I don't know. I like that stuff, obviously. I really love both of those, though. And I mean, I've seen a lot of his movies, and I have yet to see one that I did not like. Jimmy, Jonathan Panjo's video on why the Babadook is a gay icon. Oh my god. Interesting. I did not... Huh. Now I'm trying to think. I mean... Huh. I'll have to watch that, because I saw it like as the grief metaphor that I think a lot of people saw it as, because it seemed pretty apparent that that's what the message was, that like you can't let grief eat you alive. You kind of just gotta move on with your life at some point. But I'll have to check that out. I've seen a few of his videos. He's a really smart guy. Oh, hey Grace, how's it going? Fully support branching out. I mean, you definitely do, and you're not alone. Like, Adam branches out like crazy too, and I don't know, maybe you know what it is? I kind of want to get to a point where I'm like more comfortable and then kind of branch out. Like, I feel like if I get like 400,000 subs and I'm getting like crazy money and I'm not even remotely worried about financial concerns, then I'll just make videos about whatever. Because to be honest, another thing that's not movie related that I would really love to make a video about is the Legend of Zelda series. They're like my favorite games ever made. I haven't played Breath of the Wild because I'm too poor to afford a Switch, but I love Zelda. Absolutely adore that franchise. If I can ever become a filmmaker someday, that is like my dream, is to make a Zelda trilogy based on Ocarina of Time. I even have the structure, right? So bear with me if you guys, I'm sorry if you guys don't like Zelda, too bad. You're going to hear about it for a little bit. But the first part would kind of be, would be the first 3 temples. It would be, the Deku Tree, and it would be Dodongo's Cavern and Jabba Jabba's Belly. And then the second part would kind of be, Forest Temple, Fire Temple, Water Temple. And then the last one would be like Shadow Temple, Spirit Temple, and then, the finale. And like, So I don't know. I am a huge gamer and a huge music fan, and so I would love to cover more of these kinds of topics in videos. But I think I'll probably wait until it's like a little less risky to do that, because I feel like once I make, once I'm at a certain point financially, I'm not gonna care. Because that's the thing. It's not about the views and it's not about the money. It's just like I need to make a livable wage, and so I got to make some decisions. Like part of why I made the Baby Driver video as opposed to like a Mother video is because no one saw Mother, everyone saw Baby Driver. So, and it turns out, boom, 500,000 views almost on that one. So, it's part of like moderating that. But eventually, yeah, I definitely would love to make more on music or video games. But so, I mean, I don't even know what I would cover for Zelda, but that would be like, because it's my favorite thing. Like that and like Song of Ice and Fire are like my favorite things in art history ever. Of paintings, photography, music, you name it. Like my favorite things are Zelda and Song of Ice and Fire. But, oh, thanks, Colo. I appreciate it. Oh, yeah. I wanted the quality to be better, right? Because I could do it on like low latency, but then it crunches the quality a little bit. So I feel like a little bit of a delay is not a bad thing, right? But yeah, I'm kind of tempted to like do a throwback Thursday and like make the Babadook video public, but oh god, it's so bad. It's so bad. Good Time, was that with Robert Pattinson? I'm gonna look that up just because I know there's a delay, so I'm just gonna look it up for myself really quick. But if that is what I'm thinking, God, it looked good, and I wanted to see it. Yes, yeah, that looked fantastic, and everyone was saying like really really amazing things about it. So I want to check that out. Okay, LBD. Yeah, it's so weird. Like that's the one of his movies that didn't seem to get a lot of love. I thought it looked great, and I love Jake Gyllenhaal. He's like one of my favorite actors. So I'll watch it. I'll watch it. Roberto, what is in your opinion the best video game to get someone into gaming? Man, that's tough. Probably like a Super Mario game, because it's really simple, straightforward. Like the story is like really basic. But it's like it's a challenging enough game that's like really fun, but then it's easy enough to pick up if you're new. If you're really trying to get someone into gaming who just like feels like they have some aversion to it, I would recommend The Last of Us, because that game I think challenges a lot of people's preconceptions about what a video game can and should be. So yeah, either a Super Mario game or The Last of Us, because those are they're close, right? So it might as well be the same thing. Game of Thrones final season is I know, dude, I know. I'm cautiously optimistic, I'll say that. Season 7 was shaky. Honestly, I won't get into spoilers. I'll get that out there, just because I know not everyone's caught up and not everyone's seen it, and like you don't want spoilers. But what I will say is I still really enjoyed season 7. It had its issues. I don't think it's as bad as a lot of people were making it out to be, but I'm nervous, because the way that they kind of handled these last two, like the last half of season 6, and then like season 7, it's just, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it's like losing some of its magic. I don't know if that makes sense. I really don't know, but I'm hopeful. I think it's going to look spectacular. I think it's going to sound spectacular. I think it's going to be an immense production, probably the craziest thing a season of television has ever accomplished in terms of the narrative and how they're going to, excuse me, in terms of how they're going to tie everything up. I'm a little worried, but it's just because it's my favorite show. I feel like I'd be nervous. I was nervous for the end of Breaking Bad, and that was my favorite show before I got into Game of Thrones. Oh yeah, thanks, Grace. I do too. I mean, I really do too. I would love to have like 10 million subs and just make videos on whatever I wanted and just like deal with it, people. But I mean, I gotta be realistic, I gotta be realistic. at least to a degree. Although I'm making a freaking video on Kingdom of Heaven, a movie that like no one's heard of, so we'll see how that goes. 333. When did you know that you wanted to pursue filming? Am I having a stroke? Apparently, that you wanted to pursue filmmaking. I saw The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou when I was 13, and something changed for me in terms of how I watch movies. Yeah, that movie's so good. It's like probably I think that's like the least appreciated Wes Anderson movie. I love Life Aquatic, man. It's the only one with Bill like front and center the whole time too, so that's just like an added bonus. But I don't know. It was tough. It's tough to say like an exact pinpoint because for me, what started was I wanted to be an actor. When I was a kid, I loved dressing up and playing pretend and like, doing make believe and like all this kind of stuff. And so I was really into that angle of it. And then somewhere around like 9 or 10, I want to say, is when I kind of understood like, oh, directing's a thing. And then the more I looked into it, it was like, well, that's what I want to do. That's definitely what I want to do. And then I never lost it. Okay, I'm assuming you remind me. I'm assuming you remind me of Nerdwriter. But thank you. I appreciate that. I love Nerdwriter. I don't know why he gets so much hate. It's like for a guy to upload that amazing of quality videos that frequently, give the guy a break. Come on. You try it. It's hard. It's really hard. But thank you. No, I'm gonna definitely try and like always keep doing the best thing that I can do. And that's kind of the point, is like making concessions, but not anything like really serious. I still care about what I do, and I don't want to lose that. Would love to see a video on framing and Mr. Robot. I have not seen that show yet. My brother's a big fan, so I'm excited to check it out whenever I get the chance. It seems like a show that'd be right up my alley. Craig, I'm halfway through the last book, and I won't watch the TV series. And yeah. Honestly, I sometimes wish I had just done it that way, because that's kind of where my concerns are coming from. And I think a lot of the fans is like, the show's long past where he left off in the books, and so it's hard to know what's going to happen. Yeah, season 6 was great overall. Like, there were some, I think, like poorly handled plot lines in season 6, but overall season 6 was incredible. And I mean, so was season 7. It's kind of like the cumulative effect. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, that's what's getting me worried. And yeah, Craig, I'm going to agree with you there. Rushmore is probably my favorite Wes Anderson film, actually. No, you're fine, Colo. Don't worry about it. I just wanted to make sure that I was like interpreting what you meant correctly. Yeah, no, it's interesting how much more stylish Wes Anderson's gotten with his films. I love that personally. I think that's so cool, the direction that he's taking. But it's nice to go back and like see the more simple days of Wes Anderson. But yeah, I'm probably going to be wrapping this up pretty soon, within the next like 10-20 minutes. So if you have any other final questions or just anything you want to say, like, go for it. This is probably something I will come back and do again in a few weeks, a few months, maybe. The plan is, to do something for when I hit 50,000 subscribers. But we'll see. I don't know when that's going to happen. That might be like, it's so crazy. I could hit 50,000 subs in like a few weeks or a few months. So I'm not going to just necessarily wait until that, but we'll see. But Yoron wants to know what I thought of the new Blade Runner. It's actually my favorite movie that I saw last year. I think it was amazing. Actually, I'm going to drop a link. I'm going to do you guys a solid here. Legitimately probably the best video essay I have like ever seen. And if you guys don't know his name yet, you absolutely need to. But his channel is called Like Stories of Old. I've actually been subscribed to him. Like I was in his first 50 subs. But so any fan of Blade Runner 2049, watch this video and thank me later, because This guy's so much better than me. It's like not even funny. So if you think I'm good at what I do, just watch this. And I mean, he really stepped it up on this. Like really, really stepped it up. His videos have been great, but like he's got an original score in this one from someone that he found on YouTube, and yeah. But the answer to your question is I loved Blade Runner. I thought it was incredible. I don't know why some people hated it. I get that it's like slower, and I can get some of those complaints, but I thought it was fantastic. I say fantastic a lot, don't I? I'm gonna watch this back and just like want to punch myself in the face for my terrible vocabulary, but you know, what can you do? What can you do? Thoughts on Mindhunter? Oh, Mindhunter was good. Mindhunter was so good. I will see anything that David Fincher has anything to do with. Like, he could do a tampon commercial and I would watch it 20 times in a row because he's just a genius. Everything he does is amazing. I'm really, really looking forward to season 2. I hate that we have to wait this long, but there are other shows to keep me busy. And yeah, Craig, I don't either. I really don't. I really don't understand why The Life Aquatic doesn't get more love. It doesn't make any sense. I think it's his funniest movie too. Like laugh out loud funniest movie. So it's just weird. It's just weird that people didn't see that one. Soy, what's your favorite channel besides your own? Why can't I say mine? my channel's not my favorite. Well, I mean, I've got different like categories. Like I'm a big fan of First We Feast. I think that's just a terrific channel. But as far as like related to what I do, the channel I just linked to is one of them, and then Will Scoder is right up there. Like I think those two guys are just absolutely amazing at what they do. They're so talented. So I will do you guys another favor, and I will pull up Will Scoder. You guys have probably already seen a video or two of his if you're into the video essay thing. He's been doing it for a while, and a lot of his videos have gotten some crazy traffic, but he is unbelievable. And then you're always welcome to check out my channel's like description, or not description, sidebar. I have there are more I need to add. There are some people that I'm missing on there, but it's a good starting place. I haven't updated in a while, and that's part of the problem. But like, if you ever want to go to my channel and check the sidebar, there's like, I think it's like 20. There are a lot, but they're all like video essay channels. They're all kind of connected to this, same type of thing that I do. And so if you're into my channel, even in the slightest, I would recommend checking out any of those channels. They're all so good. Okay, trying to get caught up now. Oh yeah, Will, I definitely do. I do everything randomly. Have you not noticed that by now? I just made a t-shirt just cuz I wanted to. I didn't wait until I had a video or like some other special thing. I just made it cuz I wanted to do it, and it's just how I am. But to be fair to me, the other live stream was not on purpose. I was learning OBS, and I was like, start streaming. Okay, so what happens when you click that? And as it turns out, it starts streaming. Go figure. I thought there was going to be some like wall on YouTube that's like, are you sure? Confirm. And there wasn't. And then like 5 people dropped in within like seconds, and I'm like, well, I don't want to cut it off now. But this time, yeah, it was haphazard. At least I gave an hour notice, right? It's better than nothing. But thanks for jumping in, Will. I'm glad that you got a chance to stop into my horribly unprofessional antics. Do you have any idea when this will happen again? Oh, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I didn't think that it would be entertaining, but I'm glad you thought so. Yeah, you can send me an email. I have it on my website. There's like a submission form, or you can find it just on my YouTube channel. I think I have it. It says like for business inquiries only, because that's just like what YouTube has when you enter your email, but it doesn't have to be business related. You can email me. You can send me a message on Facebook. Yeah. Probably one of those two things would be best, because you can send a message on YouTube, but they're weird. Like the messaging system just kind of almost doesn't even exist on YouTube anymore. My favorite Refn film is Drive. I know, sorry, but It's so good. Drive is so good. RLM. Why are those initials ringing a bell? I feel like I should know this. Hold on. You're gonna just have to clarify. I give up. I'm sorry. I'm stupid. I need to eat soon. That's probably part of it. I'm like losing consciousness slowly, but that's okay. Tyrese, just keep up the great content. As an aspiring creator, your videos are very inspiring to the extent to which I can analyze, dissect, and interpret different. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I will do my best. I certainly care, to put the work in. It's tough, but yeah, like, I'm glad that it's connecting with people though. I think that was the biggest fear when I started, was that people would just think like, hey dummy, yeah, everybody knows this stuff already, you're not teaching nobody nothing new, like go kill yourself, like all that stuff that you see on YouTube. But I'm glad that that hasn't happened. I actually haven't had anyone tell me to go kill myself. I've had people say some mean things, but no pushes for suicide, so I guess that's progress. But yeah, the hope. Sorry, I guess I didn't even answer that question. I guess I mean, I don't know. If there's a demand for it, I can do it more often. I don't know. I'll try and give more like advanced notice. I'll say that much. This one was just very spontaneous. I had a lot on my mind and it was bugging me, and I was like, I just got to do it. Just got to put it out there and say it, and for whoever wants to listen. But yeah, if you follow me on Twitter or Facebook, that's where you'd probably be able to see whenever I do announce another live stream. And then yes, Will Scoter is indeed Bay. He's so good. He's so good. Stay bold and hungry. I love that you branch out to other areas than movies. Oh, thanks. I mean, I try to. I haven't been as much, but best foreign language film. I don't know. I have a soft spot for Kung Fu Hustle. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It is hilarious and awesome. It's just one of the greatest movies I've ever seen in my life. Oh God, Kate's. I mean, if you want a recap of the important stuff, yeah. But other than that, unfortunately, I couldn't recap. We've been chatting, we've been hanging, but you can see I'll have a link. I'll leave this one up public for like a while, and I'll leave like a link to where it'll be re-uploaded, just because I don't want it cluttering my channel. But essentially, talking about the state of the channel and that there's like financial burdens that you got to think about, and so basically expect there to be sponsorships and like affiliate marketing and plugs to my Patreon or my PayPal, because I am like going full time, and trying to make this the only job I need. And to do that, I need money, and ad revenue is not cutting it. Oh my God, not even close. Not even close. It's not even like a tenth of what I need on ad revenue. So I just wanted to have that conversation and kind of, explain why there will be sponsorships, but that there are rules. I'm not just going to take whatever someone's willing to throw at me. I do have integrity even still. But just, that there might be some other things on the side that you'll see, but the videos themselves will remain unaffected. It just might mean that you'll have to sit through another 30 seconds of an ad, but you can skip them. You can like fast forward through it and not actually watch it if you really don't want to. I hope sponsorships aren't watching, but you can totally do that. But I gotta do what I gotta do, and that was mostly that's essentially like the recap. Other things, I've just been answering questions, and like God, there's no way to recap that, unfortunately. But if you want, you can watch the whole thing. Once we're done, I'll leave it up public on my main channel, and then I'll put it on my other channel after the fact. Okay. Okay. I see what's happening, Craig. I see what's happening. Um, you had me confused for a second there. I haven't seen any of them, but I really wanted to see Wrath of God. Like that's supposed to be like one of the just like craziest movies, and I wanted to check that out. Um, I need to catch up on Atlanta, and I actually definitely plan on it because Donald Glover is one of my favorite creative people on the planet. And so yeah, I need to check that out. 400 Blows. I've heard good things about that. Yeah, well, see, There are a lot that I need to get to. Favorite Radiohead album, Kid A, probably. Although it shifts with my mood is like probably the better answer. Let's just say all of them. But no, like it would be between like Kid A and OK Computer and In Rambo's. Those are the ones like near the top. Uh See, yeah, Drive is good. It might be the easy answer, but it's the right answer. It's the right answer. Um oh, Red Letter Media. Yeah, okay. That makes more sense now. So freaking stupid. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I haven't really watched much of them. I don't typically care for those kinds of channels, to be honest, where it's just like dudes talking about movies. I don't know. Like if I knew the people or if I was involved in the conversation, that'd be different. But just like watching it actually kind of bothers me that I can't contribute to the conversation. Does that make sense? It's kind of how I am with podcasts in general. They're hard for me to watch because I just want to like and you can't because it's a podcast and that's the point. No, I didn't see American Honey Wooderson, but I really wanted to. I heard it was very, 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 very good. Do you hope that Peter Jackson can return to the splatter? Oh, I would love that, dude. I would go crazy for that. If he made some splatter stuff again, I would be ecstatic. I haven't even seen The Hobbit 3 because I thought the first one was okay, and that they were going to get better. And then I saw Desolation of Smog, and I hated it. I absolutely hated it. So this scroll wheel sucks, by the way. It's like, okay. Video will. Hey, man, never too late to rebrand. You know what I'm saying? That's funny. Yeah, I wanted to see Shaolin Soccer as well because Stephen Chow. He's a cool dude. Uh, okay. Here's what it is. I appreciate that, Angad. Here's what it is. I'll go until 5 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, I'm sorry if there are questions I haven't answered, but at 5 o'clock, I gotta go. I gotta do it. And I guess I should elaborate. 5 o'clock is 20 minutes. In my time zone, that's 5 o'clock. But sorry. Until then, I can chill. Because yeah, I think you're right. I'm like falling further and further behind. Maybe try branching out via interviews, video conventions, appearances, local news, t-shirt signing. God, dude, I wish I was on a podcast that here I can post a link to that. But the podcast is called Reasonable Beef. You can find them on SoundCloud, which I'm about to link to. And basically, they talk about movies like that are just released. Like they go see a movie each week and then they just kind of chat about it. And so they had me on as a guest and we talked about the post. Also a lot of like other random stuff. We talked about like Harry Potter and a lot of other things. But so that's like an appearance I've done and I linked to it. The next goal, I would love to go to like VidCon and I would love to do I don't know if you guys are familiar with Darren from Must See Films. He's incredible. He's really good. He asked me on tentatively. He's like trying to work in getting his podcast back together, and he said he'd like to have me as a guest at some point. So I can't give you a date. I have no idea when, but yeah, I'm gonna try and do more stuff like that. Spread the word about the channel, kind of warm myself out a little bit. Craig, did you like Jackson's King Kong? I did, but I loved it. Absolutely, man. I think it's one of the most underrated movies ever made. Like unquestionably, I think it's fantastic. It's so good. So good. Even with Jack Black, right? Everyone hates on him. I thought he was fine. I thought he was more than fine. I thought he was actually pretty good. Oh, hey, Jack. How you doing, man? I'm sorry. You've probably been sitting here for like minutes and minutes and minutes because there's a delay and I'm like taking my time. But what's up, man? Um, do what you have to. Great content like yours takes time, and if that means plugging in a new pencil, do what you have to do. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm like really relieved. Thank you guys for like being understanding, because I don't want to seem like just some shill or some sellout, because that's not it at all. Obviously, if I would, are you kidding me? If I was like just in it for the money, I would have like a PUBG channel, because I could edit and turn around that kind of content in no time. In no time. I could even have like some sort of meme channel and edit that stuff like nobody's business, but I don't want to do that stuff. I don't want to do that stuff. But thanks for stopping in. I'm sorry if you didn't even like hear me respond, because I'm sure you're a busy dude. Like, you got your own freaking awesome channel to maintain, and you upload like 10 times as frequently as I do or something like that. But yeah, if you guys don't know, Jack's Movie Reviews, another great guy. Roberto, you have said that no film was completely objective, but what would you consider to be the most perfect film you've seen? That's a solid choice. There Will Be Blood is like, it's also a top 5 for me. Like, and I'll say top 5, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, all is one, because I'm cheating and I don't care. Kingdom of Heaven, There Will Be Blood, 2001: A Space Odyssey, and probably Boyhood. But I think the most perfect film is 2001: A Space Odyssey, and I could, if I had another like 2 hours, I could probably explain why. But Kate's, I think you are completely deserving of whatever you can earn from this. You make amazing content, and I can't wait to see what else you make in the future. Good luck with everything going forward. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, the plan is to keep going and getting quicker and quicker, and then hopefully when I don't have to be so stressed and depressed about money stuff, then I can actually work quicker. That's the tentative hope. But sponsorships are like, when I can get one, it's like 90% of the income I earn on a video. So I can't turn it down unless it's like, you want to do a brand deal with kitty porn, like, then I'm not going to do that. But unless they pay me enough. I'm obviously kidding. Ethan, do something new. Patrick made a video on how he creates his videos and how he diverged from the normal video essay template. Take a cue from Austin McConnell as well. I've been trying to. And I feel like the last video was a good push towards like something a little different, just because I think it's very easily like becoming a tired genre, and I don't want it to be. But I have my own like habits, or I don't know how you would phrase it. I guess there's still a certain framework that I think is just going to exist with video essays, and I'm okay with that. I do want to branch out, but in different ways, if that makes sense. I do like Patrick, though. I like his content. Austin, I need to check out. I've heard of him. I haven't seen any of his videos. Well, thank you, Kates. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I would need help with at the moment. I mean, I really don't know, because there's a lot to manage, but it's like, I don't know. At some point, I would definitely consider hiring people. But I appreciate the offer. Like, that's very, very generous of you. Yeah, Craig. That's kind of what they seem to be to me. And not that I have a problem with that. I love comedy. Who doesn't love comedy? But yeah. Yeah. It's a shame though, right? It's a total shame about that franchise. We still have Lord of the Rings though. Trim, yeah, I own it. I've seen it a few times. I have a weird relationship with that movie. I love it and I hate it at the same time. Like, I think it's amazing, but there's like something that's off about it. I can't put my finger on it, but it's a cool movie. It's a really cool movie. It's very different. And yeah. Yeah, Naomi Watts is so good in King Kong. This must be so awkward to watch with the delay. I might try like the low latency next time. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, for now I'm obviously not going to change it. I don't even know if I could change it if I wanted to at this point. Um, by the way, I love Kingdom of Heaven director's cut. Had me sitting hours on Wikipedia just checking out the backgrounds to the movie. By far my most favorite Ridley Scott movie from the last two. Same. I think it's. I almost cursed. I'm trying not to curse because it's family friendly YouTube. But God, it's so good. It's so good. Petition. if you want to collect clips for me, I would probably do it. Because I feel like that would take me like 20 minutes to do tops. You don't think it's perfect, Elvis? Are you like the Paul Dano hater club? Because I know a lot of people who don't like that movie as much as some think Paul Dano sucks in it, but I think he's, woo, not as good as Daniel Day-Lewis, but I mean it's Daniel Day-Lewis. How do you compete with Daniel Day-Lewis? Oh, nice, Craig. Yeah, I think everybody should be. Anyone who hasn't seen 2001 like needs to, because it's fantastic. What's going on with my chat? Okay, cool. Did you watch Donnie Darko? And if you did, what did you think of it? I really believe it's one of the best masterpieces of the 21st century. I think so too, and I like kind of get upset when people try to make it like the r/I'm 14 and this is deep, because it's a good movie. Like just because it so happens that a lot of people, myself included, found it like during their teen years doesn't mean it's less valuable as a movie. Like I don't know. I feel like some people have a really weird, like pretentious, like you like Donnie Darko, and it's like it's a good movie. Leave me alone. Yeah, I loved it. I loved it. And Roberto, yeah, director's cut, all the way. If anything, watch both and see what I mean. The theatrical cut is butchered, and for reasons we'll get into when my new video's done. Yeah. Because there's a lot to cover, and I don't even cover it all in the video. Just like some of the more significant changes, let's say. For Ellen, I don't know if I've heard of that one, but I've seen him in quite a bit of stuff, and he's terrific in everything I've seen. He also just wrote and directed his own movie with Jake Gyllenhaal and Carey Mulligan starring, and I really want to see it. But since I think unless my chat is like glitching, I think I've caught up. So I'm gonna call it there. I really appreciate you guys stopping in and hanging out for a bit. And yeah, and I really appreciate you guys like being understanding and supportive and just like, yeah, just kind of like, cause I want to run things by you guys. I think it's important. Like we have a relationship here. This isn't just a one-way street. But so thank you so much for stopping in and yeah, I don't know when I'll do this again, but I definitely have plans. I mean, I wouldn't have gone through all the trouble to make all this fancy stuff if I was only going to stream once. But with that said, I'm going to get going. I got to get some food. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. And yeah, have a good weekend. Stay warm. I know it's still cold where I live. I don't know how it is where you guys are, but yeah, thank you. And I will see you guys again soon. All right. Bye.